said, guess what? I thought I was gonna die. We're not gonna spend thousands on getting married. That's community. That's what I've been praying for. Oh, don't get emotional. I can't give credit to myself. That's all God. That He blessed me with such a kind, gentle, and patient husband. I barely remember the ceremony. All I remember is standing there and being like, please don't pass out. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea and I'm the founder of Poised with Purpose Co. Thank you all so much for your patience. I do just want to disclose, if I sound a little stuffy, I am getting over a sinus infection. And if you don't know, I teach and I work at a library, so I'm just very prone to getting sick, especially during this time of the year. So please just disregard. This is still going to be a very joyous video and I hope that you enjoy. Thank you again for all of your patience and for sticking around for the past 2 or 3 months waiting for a new video. It's been a long journey of moving and getting married and settling in and starting back at the school year and finishing my job at the library. That's a whole separate thing I'll talk about, but I am now a Mrs. In this video, I am going to just go piece by piece and talk about the beginning, the proposal, into the marriage process, into the actual wedding, bridal shower, all of that stuff. So if you are interested in watching this and you've been waiting for this content, please do stick around. Please go ahead and like this video if you like this kind of content. It's not my regular content. I don't typically get into personal things, but since this is such a monumental change and you're gonna start seeing this hand a lot, I thought I would go ahead and share just the details. If you're subscribed to my vlog channel, you may have already seen some of the footage for the bridal process and bridal shower, things like that. So if you are not subscribed, I will have Poisedladydiaries, that's my vlog channel, linked in the description box below. First and foremost, I would love to say that getting married is everyone's own private thing, and if you feel like it's not something you want to share, then don't share it. And everyone has their own process for getting hitched. So for me, it was just very fast, very different, but very simple, and I will always cherish that memory. So starting out, if you did not know, my now husband was deployed last year, and he gave me a promise ring, which I'll put on the screen, that year to promise, hey, we're gonna get married next year. So we basically were like, all right, we already know this is coming. He's basically gonna be my fiance. Finally proposed, and so we decided we're gonna get married in the same year. It just made sense. We'd been dating for 5 years, and there was so much we'd already been through that we just didn't want to wait any longer, and the Lord made it possible for us to get married the same year. At first, I wasn't going to do any kind of bridal shower, but then I realized, you know, as I said on my vlog channel, I never really had a birthday party growing up. I didn't get to have a graduation from college, and getting married is a huge step in someone's life. And so I thought, you know what? I do actually want to really celebrate this short season that I'm in. So I began to plan my own bridal shower picnic, and I'll have that vlog linked so I don't go into too much detail because I do have a vlog about that already. I will make sure to include those pictures. So I knew that I wanted to do something in a garden because I love flowers. As you all know, if you have been subscribed or you know me personally, then you know I love gardens and I love flowers, I love springtime, all of those things. One of the most important things a bride has to consider when getting married is, of course, her wedding dress. And I already had one in mind. So let's kind of go back and rewind a little bit to the year 2023, I believe. I walked in a fashion show. I'll have that footage and pictures on the screen. I walked for Crystal Zhang, and this was downtown on the Scioto Mile, and it was fashion as art on the runway. And her line was not meant to be a bridal line. However, my dress really looked like a bridal gown. It looked like a wedding dress. I remember so vividly saying to Crystal, I could get married in this dress. I would get married in this dress. It had everything that I would have imagined. It had florals on it and everything. It was strapless. It looked kind of vintage and elegant. And Crystal said, when that day comes, let me know. Fast forward to 2025, and I sent a message to Crystal and I said, guess what? I'm engaged, and she said I would be honored if you wore my dress in your wedding. I paid her, of course. I am just so blessed that Crystal even allowed her artwork to be something I could wear a second time and then keep. So I ended up already knowing the dress. She sent it from LA since Crystal no longer lives here in Ohio, and she sent it here, and I already had my dress way before the wedding. The shoes also, I have a vlog on my vlog channel, which I'll also link, of me going to David's Bridal, looking for veils, looking for shoes, that kind of thing. So I won't go into too much detail about those things. You can go ahead and watch those vlogs as well. But I wanted to make sure that everything matched in some kind of floral fashion, because really my husband was like, I just want you to become my wife. I just want to be your husband. And myself, I was like, oh, well, I never dreamt of the wedding process. I just knew I always wanted to be a wife and a mom. I always wanted to get married in a garden or in a church. And the Lord brought me both. And what I mean by that is, I had been praying for so long for godly community, and not only did He bring me the church, and I have a wonderful godly community surrounding me, that He gave me that, and then the church is right near the garden where my husband proposed, where we took our pictures, and where our favorite bench is, as well as the venue for the wedding. We got married in a garden. It was beautiful, it was simple, it was small, and I wouldn't go back and change anything. I was really concerned because the day before the wedding, it rained, and that was our rehearsal day, and I was just feeling so overwhelmed by God's joy in my life that I was like, you know what? The backup plan is we're still gonna get married, and it's just gonna be in the rain. You know, I was like, I'm gonna marry this man and the Lord will provide, and it'll be beautiful nevertheless. Well, the rehearsal, it rained, so we practiced in the church with our pastor. The day of the wedding, it did not rain. I want to rewind for a moment. Before we even started more of the wedding process and where we were going to live and things like that, our pastors was kind enough to offer to do our counseling, and it was a wonderful process, but it was actually quite difficult to fit within our schedules, and we did get it done, and thank the Lord for our pastor, because he didn't have to do that. It was just such a blessing to be able to understand how to biblically resolve conflict between you and your spouse, and things to talk about before getting married, things that you want to pursue while you're married, when you have kids in the future, that kind of thing. So if you've questioned whether or not to get marriage counseling before getting married, do it with your pastor. I highly recommend. Let's talk a little bit about the wedding process, because you don't really see all of that in the vlog yet. My dear friend Denisha, who I talk about all the time, we used to model together, she was my photographer, and she also got some cool video clips for us. And then my little sister, she was actually my videographer, so she had the DSLR in her phone and was getting all the footage behind the scenes. So thank you to the both of them for doing that. That's how I was able to get any footage from our wedding day. For all of that, you know, there's the dress, there's the shoes, there's the veil, which I got the shoes and the veil from David's Bridal. And then of course the dress was from Crystal's collection. And then there were just some other little things to consider, like the venue, which we did secure. But then there was like, what am I gonna do for my hair? What am I going to do for my makeup? And believe it or not, I love things that are really elegant, but I'm very simple. And if you notice, like, I don't do the whole fake lashes thing for my makeup. I used to never contour or do bronze or anything. I'm still learning all of that stuff. I finally know how to do blush and line my lips and things like that. But I initially was like, you know what? I'm gonna do my hair myself, my makeup myself, and just save money, because we had a really tight budget, and we were like, you know, we're not gonna spend thousands on getting married. One of my coworkers from the library was kind enough to say, you know what, my best friend does makeup, and she's usually really booked, but this would be my gift to you if she's able to do it. And I just, the amount of kindness and love shown to me throughout this entire process, I can't even begin to explain how I'm still dealing with those emotions. I was so overwhelmed and grateful, because my church community was reaching out. What do you need? What can we help with? My girls from my church surprised me with a bachelorette. I was not expecting that. I wasn't even going to have a bachelorette because I didn't have bridesmaids. But someone even offered to pay for my makeup to get done. And so I will have Yodit's information linked below. Her Instagram, I believe, is Almaz Faces. And she does makeup for everyone. I mean, she's so talented. I don't think I've ever felt as glowy, pretty, and natural and still look like myself after she did my makeup trial and then the day of the wedding. I just can't express enough how beautiful I felt. But naturally, even though I had makeup on, it just felt like myself. And as you all may have known, I used to model and I've had some scary makeup experiences in the past, so Yodit was just wonderful and easy to talk to. I was just going to do my makeup myself, and honestly, I'm glad I did it, and I'm so grateful to the both of them for gifting me with something so special like that, because I don't think I could have achieved that kind of look. Not to say or put myself down, say that I'm bad at doing my own makeup, but there's just something about someone that understands your undertone and your skin type that can get a makeup look and just nail it. And I just showed her maybe 2 pictures from Pinterest and she nailed it. So that was a gift. I did do my hair myself. I literally just slicked it back because I had an idea for the after party, and it was a vintage dress that I was going to wear, and I didn't want to have to worry about being overstimulated with my hair and my face. I did know I didn't want braids or anything. I wanted my natural hair. But I did just slick it back because I honestly feel like it would be the easiest for the kind of veil that I picked out and for my dress, that the attention was going to be on me but not on my hairstyle, more my face, the dress, the veil, everything else, and I didn't want the hair to really be a huge part of that. So I just slicked it back and it worked out for me. Slick, chic, and simple. The day of the wedding honestly felt like a normal day. I did stay at my parents' and my granny was able to make it. We did go pick my granny up, so she was able to be there. My sister Ashley, she flew in with her boyfriend to be there for the wedding, so my family was there. And waking up, it just felt like a typical day. And then I just had to keep saying, oh my gosh, I'm getting married today. You know what I mean? People say that happens, but I really woke up like surrounded by family and just really simple. Like, it wasn't a destination wedding. We got married right here in Ohio, right in our city. People didn't really have to travel too far. It was mostly our, intimate family and friends. My husband is very simple and he's very family oriented, and we have a very private, simple circle too, so it was just not something that was on our radar per se. I did not do a first look. My husband did not get to see me until, sorry, somebody is cutting the grass outside. We're just gonna have to keep rolling, okay? So anyway, I had to be at the salon by a certain time, and I just want to give a huge thank you to Hector's aunt for allowing me to get ready at her salon. My makeup artist Yodit can have a location to go to and have good lighting and a setup because it's a salon. It just all worked out beautifully, and the Lord is so, so good. I got to the salon in my bridal robe. My dad drove me and dropped me off. My mom went to the venue to go help set up with Hector's aunt and everyone else who was helping with that. My sisters stayed with me. My granny stayed with me at the salon while I was getting ready. My mom is wonderful. She actually got a bridal bag to keep all my dresses and my shoes in, and there was so much behind the scenes work that was done. Like, my mom and Hector's aunt, they did all the cooking. Like, we didn't cater, we didn't have vendors, okay? We had a real home style, cozy wedding, and I am so grateful that we did, because imagine I did something that just wasn't authentic to us as a couple. It was just extremely authentic to the both of us and very homey, cozy, and inviting. So that's just how we did it. It was just such a wonderful time, and honestly, in the moment, it felt like it was going so slow. Like, the time was just ticking, ticking, but then now I look back and I'm like, oh, it actually went by super quickly. And the thing is, it did go by super quickly, but I felt like I got to enjoy each moment. I probably got all my lip stuff. Oh no, it's still glossy. It's still glossy. I always worry about that. Taking a sip of something and then your lips are just not glossy anymore. What was that? I think it was Camp Rock. That girl said, wait, was it Camp Rock? She said, oh, your lip gloss is so not glossy anymore. Oh, the insults from the 2010s. Our families just kind of stepped up and did the things that we weren't thinking about, like decorations for the venue. I was not thinking about any of that, okay? And my mom and Aunt Jenny and Jenny's sisters, I mean, they all pitched in and were like, oh, we have this from a quinceañera, or we have this from someone else's birthday, or we have this from someone's wedding, and it's all within your color palette. Let us know if you like it. And that's community. That's what I've been praying for. Oh, don't get emotional. That's community. That's family. That's love. That's care. That is support. And for so long, my family didn't know what that looked like. We're not close with my other relatives. So to know that I was marrying into a family that cares so much about family, but also praying for so long for God to send me godly girlfriends and community, and for them to step up and also just do some surprising things is just, if you don't know Jesus and the goodness and his promise, I encourage you. Try him out. It's not to get things. It's just, I can't give credit to myself. That's all God. That he blessed me with such a kind, gentle, and patient husband. And the whole time leading up to walking down the aisle, I wasn't even nervous. I was just really chill. I was like, wow, I'm getting married. I'm surrounded by my loved ones. My granny's here. I have the dress of my dreams. My dad pulls up in my granny's vintage Mercury car. I asked her if we could use it for the wedding, and I just thought that the pictures inside would look so beautiful, and as you can see, they turned out beautifully. Denisha is an artiste, okay? On the way to the venue, oh, my flower arrangement. Oh my gosh, how could I forget? Talbot's Flowers in Westerville, a family-owned business. Amazing, okay? And I made the bouquet that I was gonna toss. I just was like, I'm not gonna spend money on that. As much as I love flowers, like, I can make a pretty decent bouquet. But my actual giant bouquet, I sent them the images and I walked into the place, and it was somewhere I'd always wanted to go. And I finally got their flowers. They were so wonderful. They delivered the flowers to the salon, and they kept them in the refrigerator, and they were just stunning. And I wish I could have like froze them and kept them forever because they were so beautiful. But get to the venue, get out of the car. My dad and I are getting ready, and it was a long walk because the venue that we were at, you had to go past the shelter house, up a hill, walk through, because it's a garden. Like, you know, gardens aren't small. There's little pathways and cutaways and detours. So that was something we didn't actually get to practice because it rained, like I said, the day before for our rehearsals. Dad's outfit, he told me what it was going to look like, but it was a surprise, and he looked snazzy. You talk about me and elegance and that kind of thing. He showed out with the hat. My mom was in her royal purple. Everything looked beautiful. Hector's family looked beautiful. His grandmother was able to come. She flew from Puerto Rico. It was just so beautiful, and I wouldn't change a thing. I barely remember the ceremony. All I remember is standing there and being like, please don't pass out. It worked out. It was fine. I didn't pass out, and Pastor Chaz was wonderful. My friend Madison from church played the violin, and this was a last-minute request that our pastor was like, well, why don't you just ask Madison if she'll play the violin? You know, she plays, and she played at another wedding, and I was like, oh, I don't want to like burden her. This is so last minute. I don't have any music picked out. I didn't think of any of that stuff, y'all. I was not thinking about that at all. Okay, I should have, but I wasn't. She played the violin. It was beautiful. Like, just imagine you're in a garden and you're hearing the violin being played. Got pictures done in between. So we had our ceremony, and then Denisha took us to do pictures really quickly. By that time, I really felt like I was gonna pass out because I really needed to eat and have water. I was like, we gotta take these pictures quick because usually pictures take a while and you do it before, but I was like, yeah, I trust Denisha that with this little bit of time, she'll get the best pictures and we'll be fine. So we went to the venue, people welcomed us, and they were playing the music. We had to do more photos on the inside, and honestly, by that time, I was so fed up because I was like, I gotta get out of this dress. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful dress, but walking those distances from the garden to the venue in heels, no water, I thought I was gonna die, okay? So I was like, okay, we gotta get these pictures taken, and then I was able to change into my after party dress, which was not the initial dress that I wanted, but the other dress wasn't going to arrive in time. It was the same silhouette and style, like a 1950s style dress, and it wasn't going to arrive in time, so I didn't get it, and I got this one, and I'm actually glad that I did because it was so flattering, so vintage looking, and you know, I'm a very elegant, vintage retro person, and so I had to put little pieces of that into the wedding, of course. So I changed into that, kept the same shoes, we were able to eat, and everything was decorated beautifully. My mom bought a phone, so instead of people doing a guest book or something where they write for us, there was a phone where they could leave messages and leave a recording so that we could listen to it. My mom picked out a green jacquard runner for the table, and then my husband had a green jacquard tie that he picked out that was like my business color, and it was just so beautifully put together. And I know some people are like, well, what did your husband want? What did your husband want? Listen, I asked him. He is so simple. He's like, whatever, I trust you. We went places together. We called places together. I went with him to go look for ties. I just didn't know the one that he was going to pick out until he showed it to me. He was very present. I don't want to make it sound like he wasn't. And he's simple. Like, if he could have everything black, everything would have been black. And I didn't want a black wedding. Like, I didn't want a black runner. I didn't want black decorations. Okay, we weren't going to do that. So he was quite satisfied. I was satisfied. Everyone seemed to have had a good time, and it was a beautiful ceremony. And so now I am a Mrs., a senora, I'll say, because now I've married into a Dominican family, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you all for watching this video. I didn't hire an editor. I went to school for film and videography, so I was like, I can just edit it myself. I would love to do Style Like. I would love to do the etiquette series, the faith series, of course. The etiquette series is one that I really, really want to do. I have some ideas about that one because some things have been happening lately that I really have some opinions on. So let me know if you're interested in any of that. But once again, thank you for your patience. Thank you for tuning in. Please give this video a like. Leave a comment below on anything I talked about, anything that you could relate to, any questions that you have, anything that you would like to see in the future. And thank you so much for supporting Poised with Purpose Co. And I will see you in the next video.